That's the story that she told me when I was on my world tour, but that's for another day. So my grandfather, which was her brother James, he moved to Philadelphia and had my mom, which my mom was the firstborn child, and I was the first grandchild. And then my mom used to go to New York for the summer and visit her best cousin, which was Chantel. They used to live in Coney Island, and when they went to the Coney Island beach, that's where she met my dad. And my dad, ironically, he's from Philly too, but he was in New York visiting his family. So they were both on the beach, and he said, that girl over there, she's going to be my wife. And sure enough, she became his wife. He went to the military. She went to the military right behind him. I stayed behind with my grandparents. And then my mom got out the military. I think they broke up. Sometime after that, they broke up. But she had went and got an apartment down the bottom. It's this area in Philly called Down the Bottom. So she had her own apartment there. And when she got that apartment, they got back together. And so they was together for a short time, and then next thing you know, they wasn't together anymore. So it was just me and her in the apartment, and that was off of Spring Garden Street. And man, I had a lot of good times over there in that little neighborhood or whatever. And then it came a point in time when I moved with my grandma, like permanently. So I was no longer off of Spring Garden anymore. I was over there in the neighborhood with my grandmom and them. But my very first friend was Erica. And she was like a sister from another mother. But let me give me a bite to eat. Hold on. If you're not into sushi, you need to try it, okay? So, what was that? Okay. So, my first friend was Erica. She was like a sister from another mother. That was my ex-boon coon. We were tight. But I remember a couple of things about childhood. I remember we used to always play in the lot. She had a big old lot in front of her house. We used to always play in the mud over there. Me, her, and her cousin Terrence, and a lot of the other little kids from the neighborhood. But yeah, and I remember our very first falling out that we had as kids was I had the same hat and gloves, and she had the same hat and gloves. And I already knew, even as a kid, I already knew that was going to be trouble, having the same hat and gloves. So what happened was I was at her house playing, and I went and put my hat and my gloves in my jacket sleeve because I wanted to, hat and gloves is loose. There's no way to, keep them together. So I stuck it in the sleeve so it can stay with my jacket. By the time I got ready to leave, she couldn't find her hat and gloves, and here it go. I knew it was coming. She couldn't find hers, but I had mine stuck in the jacket sleeve. Even though it was in my jacket sleeve, she still thought it was hers. So it was this big deal. That's mine, that's mine, that's mine. And I'm saying that's mine, that's mine. And I ain't trying to leave without my stuff, and she ain't trying to have me leave with her stuff. So in the end, they was like, okay, because it was only one set. It's two sets of hats and gloves, but only one could be found, which was in my jacket sleeve, in which I put it in there. But she couldn't find hers. She didn't know where she laid hers or threw it down at. So So what they decided to do was look for the other second set of hat and gloves. And so they tore their house up and down, high and low, and I stood right there the whole time waiting for the results. And next thing you know, they found the missing hat and gloves. And they let me keep mine because they got that from out of my sleeve jacket. So that was the one and only biggest disputes we had in our little friendship or whatever. And then I remember we used to want to try to sing. So we was trying to make up a song. And making up a song for me is so hard. I guess I really had to figure that out. But yeah, it is really hard to make up a song. So the next day we came back with our songs. She started singing the song like smooth as silk. Holiday, celebrate, if we took a holiday. And I was like, hold on, what? Oh my God, you wrote that? I can't believe it. This girl had me fooled. Next thing I know, we leave, and I go home. I hear the song on the radio. It was Madonna's Holiday. I said, oh my God. So, yeah, that was a trip. So those are little things that I remember. And I remember this one last thing, which was my mama, me and her was riding in the back of my mama. She had a hatchback, and it had this big old window in the back. So we would go back there, and we'd be laying back, and we could just see everything passing us up real fast, you know, looking up at the sky and stuff like that. So she didn't know that we went into the trunk looking out that big old window. And she went to the gas station, and she came back to the car, and she did not see us. And she was panicking. She was going frantic. Oh, my God. We sitting back there cracking up, laughing. We thought it was so funny that, you know, she didn't know we was back there. So we just laughing, like trying not to laugh out loud, but laughing to ourselves. And boy, she was in the frantic, and she started getting ready to cry and all type of stuff. So we had to hurry up and let her know, hey, we back here. She's like, oh my God, don't be scaring me like that. Da, 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 da. It was a trip. So, yeah. Those things I do remember about that situation. With Erica, like whenever she was like going to her cousin's house or something like that, I used to play with her sister named Crystal. So Crystal would fill in when she was unavailable. And Crystal was a little bit more closer to our age than her other sibling, brother Kevin and her sister Raquel. So they were much older. They weren't like in our classification or whatever. So yeah, but then there was Dion, and Dion was my second friend on the block, and me and Dion was cool and close. By the time I started hanging with Dion, I was no longer really hanging with Erica. We kind of just went our separate ways at that point. So then there was Dion, and I had a whole lot of great times with Dion. You know, she was like a sister from another mother as well, and I used to eat dinner at the house and stuff a lot, and we had a lot of good times, good memories. She was with me when I had my first heartbreak. I had popped up on an ex-boyfriend of mine, and I popped up on him, and she was with me, and then somebody must have told some girl that I was over there. So this Q&A turned into story time. So I hope you guys were thoroughly entertained by my stories. I'm going to have to do a continuation because this will be way too long trying to get to the other questions. So I'm going to do a continuation. So stay tuned and for the next video. Peace.